Arizona Science is supported by Research Corporation for Science Advancement.
For AZPM, I'm Leslie Tolbert, Regents Professor Emerita in Neuroscience at the University of Arizona, and this is Arizona Science. Our guest today is Mihai Surdeanu, Associate Professor in Computer Science. Mihai studies artificial intelligence, or AI, computerized processing systems that can extract meaning from natural language, and is increasingly moving into all sorts of interesting questions that are being posed to society right now as we all start to encounter artificial intelligence, even when we're not aware that we're encountering it. Thanks for joining us, Mihai.
Thank you, Leslie. I love your interviews and I love AZPM, so it's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Thank you. Several years ago, you talked with us about AI and how computers will increasingly be able to replace humans in routine tasks involving language and communication. I'd like to know what you're thinking now with increasingly sophisticated AI applications in the news every day. Can you give us a general update?
Yeah, of course. Pretty much everything that I said came true, both in the good things and the bad things. And since then, we have seen an explosion of artificial intelligence, especially models that process language. To put things in perspective, natural language processing technologies such as ChatGPT never worked so well. So this is a first time in the history of humanity that we're seeing this. And also, perhaps equally as important, they have never been this approachable. Previously, sort of experts got to use natural language processing technologies, and now everybody can, right? You just talk to it and you get an answer back, so you have a natural discussion with an AI. And this has never happened to this extent before.
So what do you see as the limitations? What do we need to be wary of as we move in this direction?
There are many important limitations. To me, the biggest one is the fact that these language models do not explain what they do, or as a recent paper put it very nicely, large language models do not say what they think. And this is extremely dangerous because we may end up, and we have deployed these systems in important use cases in the world, and they may make mistakes and we're not going to know it.
So what do you say to the non-academic, the general public, about ways that you see of ethical use of AI versus what really is unethical?
I think the biggest ethical issue is, should we deploy the systems in the world if they work correctly most of the time, but they do make mistakes, which may be drastic, grave mistakes in, let's say, the medical domain, and we're going to struggle to identify those mistakes. So I think that lack of explainability is a huge problem that we should be aware of. But I think with human supervision, I think that can be mitigated. So use it, definitely use it. I mean, it's the best AI we ever had, but don't let it run amok on itself. There are some other ethical issues that I struggle with. I think one is the obvious job loss, right? We will lose white-collar jobs. But I think this is actually more of a job change, because language models have introduced new jobs that didn't exist before that pay extremely well. So the most popular one is probably prompt engineering, learning how to interact with these language models. How do you prompt them to give them what you want in an efficient way? And those jobs are extremely popular and they pay very well, close to what we're getting as, faculty at U of A.
Prompt engineering as a new field, that's not something you ever would have thought of 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
It's a new world, and it's very interesting, and there are courses on prompt engineering. I will include in the next semester, when I teach about this technology, I'll include at least one session on prompt engineering.
It seems essential.
It seems essential because these AIs, I don't like the association with the human mind. They learn in a different way, but they do learn. They do learn about language. So knowing how to interact with them, I think is very important if we are to use them in a good way.
Right. If we can understand what it is that drives ChatGPT to make
what
a
do they
statement.
know, what they don't know, how do they know it, and so on. So learning how to interact with them, I think it's super important.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your enthusiasm, cautious enthusiasm.
Yeah, exactly.
Mihai Surdeanu is a leading expert in the development and uses of artificial intelligence for scholarship purposes and throughout our daily lives. You can listen to this and all Arizona Science conversations at azpm.org/Arizona Science. I'm Leslie Tolbert.
Thank you to Research Corporation for Science Advancement for their support of Arizona Science.